because I was so shocked. So I came in and he was kind of angry when he came in. He sort of had that chip on his shoulder.
I committed to this family 100% of myself.
Hi, y'all, and welcome back to Sister Wives Daily. For 18 years, we've seen Meri Brown slowly disappear into the background. The first wife, now hardly spoken of, gaslit, ostracized, emotionally abandoned. We've seen her take a transformation from being the backbone of the Brown family to a woman clinging to shards of a life she helped create. Kody walked out. The world turned its back. But what if we've been misunderstanding everything all along? What if Meri Brown hasn't been being weak, but patient? What if, all this while, she's been quietly biding her time until the day she could finally spill the truth? Because according to one insider far inside her inner circle, that day might be now. They report Meri has maintained a handwritten journal for more than 30 years. Every argument, every vow made, every vow broken, page upon page, year by year. A gritty, unscripted glimpse into a life the cameras never captured. And now, Kody's attorneys are said to be in a frantic bid to bury it. Today, we reveal what is perhaps the most explosive Brown family secret ever, Meri's tell-all diary. But first, give your thumbs up for the truth. Like that button and subscribe to Sister Wives Daily. Ring the bell, because the tale you are about to hear reverses everything we thought we knew about this family. Let's get into it. We all know Meri was the first one. She wed Kody in 1990, before the show, before the fame, before the other wives. But what actually went on behind the scenes? According to our source, a former LuLaRoe colleague who became one of Meri's trusted confidants, she began journaling exactly 1 year after her wedding. From the start, she was meticulous. She wrote everything down, they said. Arguments, money talks, things he said, things he broke. At first, it was just a way to document her life. But over time, it became something else. It became her evidence. This was not a book she intended to release. This was not hindsight. These were diary entries in real time, uncensored and unedited, a running record of her reality. And within those pages, not only scars on an emotional level, but valid money claims and a chilling scheme to push her out before the now famous catfish debacle. One of the more damning exposes: money. Meri was a star seller with LuLaRoe, maybe even earning more than the whole show was bringing in during that time. On television, it seemed like it was her company. Behind doors, our source says Kody considered it his. The diary is said to chronicle Kody coercing Meri into putting her earnings into the family account. Tens of thousands of dollars, she was assured, were being invested in land on Coyote Pass. An investment, he explained. A vow to repay her. But then, the truth started to fall apart. She started noticing things, the source says. Robyn with a new designer handbag, flashy jewelry, and Meri's money gone. She allegedly documented moments when she helped pay for the other kids, while her own child, Leon, struggled with emotional neglect. It wasn't just sharing. Kody was draining her. And he justified it all in the name of family. Now it all makes sense. The fight over Liz's heritage in. Meri wasn't greedy. She was desperate to cling to the very last thing that was really hers. Her money. Gone already. Invested into an account she didn't even have control over, one that Kody and Robyn already acted like it was theirs. And then there's the catfish incident. The moment the world saw as the final crack, Kody painted it as betrayal. But if Meri's diary is real, the truth might be far more heartbreaking and far more sinister. The catfishing was not what brought down Meri and Kody. It was the result. A desperate plea for human contact from a woman who had been emotionally left behind far earlier than any internet stranger ever came into play. According to our insider, Meri's diary entries between 2012 and 2014 are some of the most painful to read. Page after page, filled with confusion, sorrow, isolation. She writes of a husband who turned cold, who withdrew intimacy, accused her of being too emotional, and constantly measured her against Robyn, always to her disadvantage. But it wasn't just neglect, it was manipulation. The source tells Radar that Kody didn't merely walk away from the marriage, he dismantled it piece by piece on purpose. He manufactured arguments, distorted events, rewritten memories. Systematically, step by step, he caused Meri to doubt her own reality. He needed her to be the bad guy, the source says, so that he could justify bringing Robyn into the picture. Years of no affection, years of no affirmation. Until one day a stranger online paid notice and Meri held on to it, not from betrayal but desperation. Desperation to be seen, to be wanted, to feel like she existed. The show informed us that the scandal ruined the marriage. These diaries indicate otherwise. The marriage was dead already, drained by years of emotional battles. The catfish scandal was not the wrecking ball. It was the smokescreen. And today, everything is boiling over. Because Mary is free, her mom has died. Her spiritual connection to the Brown family is now severed, and for the first time in decades, she has nothing to lose. In early 2023, Mary met with a literary agent to negotiate writing a raw, unfiltered memoir of her diaries. And when Kody heard about it, he freaked out. Our source claims that Kody's legal team fired back with a cease and desist letter, threatening to sue Mary for violating TLC's non-disclosure agreements. But Mary's attorneys, they didn't back down. In fact, they turned the tables, arguing that Kody himself has been breaking those same NDAs for years, going on national TV to dissect their marriage, damage her reputation, and pin the entire collapse on her shoulders. If that is the case, then Kody might have nullified the very contract he is attempting to hide behind. This diary is no longer a personal journal. It might be a legal weapon, one that lays bare Kody not only emotionally, but financially too. A map of broken promises, misspent money, and claimed manipulation. He is not attempting to guard his privacy. He is attempting to guard his bank account. So what now? Our source confirms Mary is playing it slow. She will never release the full diary. She doesn't have to. Its presence alone provides her with something she hasn't enjoyed in years: control. For the first time in more than a decade, Mary Brown has the upper hand. Kody is quiet and afraid. But this isn't revenge. It's reclamation. It's about a woman who was erased from her own narrative, taking back the pen and writing her truth in her words on her terms. Kody believed he came out on top. He received the monogamous relationship he always desired with Robyn, but he neglected the one individual who never ceased watching, never ceased writing, never ceased recalling. And now, Mary might be sitting on the biggest bombshell in reality television history. So, what do you think, Gossip Fam? Is she going to blow up everything Kody constructed, or did the quiet threat already have its effect? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear all your theories. Thanks for keeping up with me on this deep dive. And if you want more behind-the-scenes realities, more exclusive exposés, and more cracks in the Brown family's expertly crafted image, subscribe. Activate notifications. Because the secrets hidden in this family's closet, we're just scratching the surface. And before we sign off, let's discuss Coyote Pass. What was once described as the ultimate fantasy, a sprawling plot of land where the Brown clan would finally come together and construct their homes for eternity, is now beginning to resemble a cleverly constructed money trap. Because what if it was never a dream? What if Coyote Pass was a long con, a real estate shell game orchestrated by Kody and Robyn to quietly bleed the other wives of their savings, leaving them with nothing but promises and dust? For years, we were informed that the Coyote Pass delays were caused by red tape, family conflicts, and financial obstacles. But what if all that was not real? What if the dream was never intended to be real? At least, not for them anyway. Today, we're lifting the veil on what's perhaps the most deliberate deceit in the history of the Brown family. We've followed public property records, interviewed someone who has intimate knowledge of how the family's finances work, and created a timeline that leads to one scary conclusion. Coyote Pass wasn't an abandoned dream. It was a trap, not a house for 4 wives, but a money pump, an instrument intended to suck in their equity, deprive them of autonomy, and centralize power directly into Kody and Robyn's grip. This wasn't an unsuccessful endeavor. It was a successful swindle. Before we reveal to you what the land deeds uncover, the ones Kody didn't want you to know about, do something for us. If you're so sick of the deception and ready for the real deal, hit that like button and subscribe to Sister Wives Daily. Turn notifications on, because what we're about to reveal will change your whole perspective on this family, forever. Let's see where the money leads. In 2017, the Browns were residing in Las Vegas. They were not together, but they were prosperous. Every wife had her own house, her own equity, her own independence. And that, our source indicates, was the initial issue. In order for Kody and Robyn's scheme to take place, the other wives' independence needed to be taken away. Their assets, combined. Their choices, restricted. So Kody sold the vision, one large house. A retrograde return to the togetherness they once enjoyed in Lehi. He knew the earliest wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, still clung to that dream, and he employed it. As per a Flagstaff real estate source who followed their deal closely, the whole one big house sales pitch was nothing more than a sham. No one within the local real estate community thought it was ever possible, not from a zoning standpoint, and heaven forbid from a family one. But it made great copy, for it provided Kody with the bargaining power to persuade the wives to sell their own personal houses in Vegas, liquid property, and put it all into one, raw piece of property. A piece of land that would soon become their prison. And they did, one by one. Janelle earned a profit. Christine broke even. Mary sold hers. Hundreds of thousands of dollars poured into the family kitty, dollars that would be sown in the earth of Coyote Pass. The bait was swallowed. And now here's where the scam is irrefutable. On television, Kody introduced Coyote Pass as equitable. Each wife, we were informed, had her own plot. But the public records, the truth, show a very different picture. Let's dissect. Parcel A, Robyn's crown jewel. 5 acres. The largest and most valuable plot deeded to Kody and Robyn. It had it all: prime road access, the flattest topography for building, close proximity to utility lines, and the crown jewel, the pond Kody always referred to as the heart of the property. This wasn't just land. It was their throne. Parcels B and C. Janelle and Mary's predicament. Janelle and Mary were given smaller, 2-acre plots, but even those came with massive issues. Mary's parcel, tucked deep into the trees, was nearly impossible to clear for construction. Dense root systems meant potential complications for septic approval. According to our source, it was a dud from day one, unbuildable, impractical, and possibly even symbolic. Janelle's slightly better, but not by much. Parcel D, Christine's escape route. Christine's plot 2 was only 2 acres, but situated on the distant edge of the property as if in an afterthought. It wasn't part of the other land, which made it very easy to sell, and very easy for her to leave. And that's just what she did. But here's where it gets even more damning. Coyote Pass is not land. It's part of a corporate setup. The property is operated under an entity named K&R Brown Family Holdings LLC, the registered agent, a generic law firm, the managing members, Kody Brown and Robyn Brown. No other wives mentioned. No joint decision-making. Just Kody and Robyn at the helm, calling the shots, holding titles, making moves. And although the land was parceled out and separately deeded, all the original purchase and every loan thereafter was orchestrated through this family LLC. That is, the actual ownership, the actual control, remained in their hands. Kody and Robyn. 2 names now inscribed at the center of a low-burning plot. One that secured them absolute legal ownership over Coyote Pass, and the riches hidden within it. Because when all was said and done, the documents were unequivocal. Any significant financial choice associated with that land, Kody and Robyn held the reins. The other wives were mere tenants on land owned by the royal pair. The cash was lost, the deeds were one-sided, but the true genius or ruthlessness of the scheme was in what followed. The stall. Phase 3 of Kody's long con was not about building, it was about stopping. Because a house once constructed equals equity, a share that the wives could tap. But vacant land, that's nothing but a money sink. No payoff, no escape. So Kody started a masterclass in incompetence weaponized. Excuse upon excuse. Delay upon delay. The pay it off first excuse. He demanded nothing could be constructed until the land was paid off completely, a financial point that was nonsensical. Construction loans against the value of the land are normal, routine even. But the game wasn't logic. It was delay, and it prevailed. Another year lost. He said he couldn't find anyone reliable, told the property boundaries had to be redrawn. More waiting, more delaying. The cistern crisis. Abruptly, the land required a huge, expensive water system before anything could proceed. Another hurdle, another money drain, another excuse not to do anything. But it all served a single purpose: to keep the wives' money locked up. Janelle, desperate and frustrated, took the risky step. She parked an RV on the property. She was willing to live humbly and begin constructing. But Kody did not commend her commitment. He shamed her publicly. Not because it was awkward, but because she was calling his bluff. She was doing the one thing that risked the entire fantasy: occupying the land. That wasn't the plan. The idea was that the property would remain vacant, a wives' dream graveyard, and their finances. Whereas Janelle occupied a mobile home, and Christine was trapped in a home she despised, Kody and Robyn made their ultimate, definitive move. 2019. They purchased a $890,000 property. A luxury home, their forever haven. And Robyn's weepy appearances on TV, the so-called rental refugee routine, all an act, our source says. For here's the supposed truth. They leveraged Coyote Pass. That huge, vacant plot of land, paid for by the other wives' sale of their homes, served as justification for a new loan. A loan that financed Kody and Robyn's fantasy home. It was the ultimate bait and switch. They manufactured the crisis, then used it as an excuse to save themselves. And the other wives, They couldn't speak up. They didn't have liquid assets, no legal clout in the LLC, no energy left after years of emotional and financial whittling down. Christine's Vegas equity. Lost 6 feet under. She struggled to recover a percentage of it when she sold her tract. Janelle, continuing from rental to rental, the stability she had gained through her toils, now a distant memory. Married, she has a parcel of land so intractable and inaccessible, it never may be buildable or sellable. A forest clearing that's as much a jail as it is a piece of property. And Kody and Robyn. They're sitting in their large house, gazing out over an empty field, a memorial to a lost family, a reminder of what they won and what they lost in order to have it. Because let's be clear, Kody and Robyn fought and won the battle for the money. But they lost the war for the family. They played the long game and played it flawlessly. A decade later, they moved power, assets, and allegiance until it all fell into place. And now they're the rulers of a hollow kingdom, a kingdom of filth, debt, and specters. So what do you think, gossip fam? Was Coyote Pass nothing more than a string of bad luck? Or was it a cold, calculating scheme, engineered from the beginning to amass wealth and power? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear it all. And next, let's talk about Janelle Brown. For years, she was the backbone, the logical one, the breadwinner, the woman who kept the family grounded while Kody chased chaos. But even the strongest foundations can crack under pressure. So when Janelle abruptly packed up her life and moved into a fifth-wheel trailer on a desolate patch of land, it just didn't compute. The show presented it as desperation, a response to Flagstaff's harsh rental crisis, perhaps, or a manifestation of years of neglect by the family. But what if that was just the tip of the iceberg? What if the trailer wasn't a sign of defeat, but a statement of war? What if Janelle wasn't the victim, but the mastermind? Today, we're lifting the veil on the tale Kody, and even TLC never intended for you to hear. Janelle's personal business ventures were told by someone in close proximity to them, weren't just a roof over her head. It was the edge of a top-secret endeavor, a multi-million-dollar enterprise, and backing it, a well-connected, secretive ally, someone so threatening to Kody's grip that he allegedly attempted to blow it all up. And believe me, before we blow who this Enigma man is, and the text message that might blow the entire thing wide open, get you locked in with us. Hit like, subscribe, enable notifications, because what you're about to hear turns the entire sister wives narrative on its side. Let's get into it. To comprehend Janelle's scheme, you need to comprehend Janelle. Long before she ever became a polygamous wife, she was a clever, calculating businesswoman, the smartest of the bunch financially. While Kody was out running pipe dreams, she was the one in the background keeping bills paid. She wasn't flashy, she was centered. And who was the mysterious partner? Our informant, a former acquaintance of the Browns in Wyoming, tells us that his name is Caleb Vance. That's not really his name, but we're referring to him as Caleb to maintain his anonymity. Caleb was a childhood friend of Janelle's, from before she was involved with polygamy. The type of friend you never truly forget. Cut to 2019, shortly after the grand relocation to Flagstaff. That's when the vision of Coyote Pass began to resemble a financial pit. Janelle saw her hard-gained cash dissipate into dusty ground and broken promises. She needed an escape, pronto. That's when she and Caleb reconnected, accidentally, at a business conference. But this wasn't some renewed flame. It was something deeper, respect. Caleb recognized her genius. He recognized how wasted she was, confined, stifled, trapped. And so, he offered her a deal. An actual business offer. They would construct something new together. A chain of co-working, luxury wellness retreats for digital nomads. Spaces where professionals could recharge, reset, and reconnect. Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, just the start. This wasn't a side hustle. It wasn't some other MLM or fly-by-night scam. This was a real multi-million-dollar lifestyle company. And Janelle wasn't merely assisting, she was co-owner and managing partner. This was her freedom ticket. But there was one hitch. She had to do it all behind closed doors. After all, she was still on reality television, still at the mercy of Kody, still required to be the subservient wife. So how do you create an empire when you're constantly in someone's eye? You purchase an RV. To the general public, the fifth wheel resembled a last resort. Her rental had been purchased. There were no alternatives. But the reality, it was all planned out. The RV wasn't a home. It was a command center on wheels. Consider, it provided her with mobility. No longer did she have a fixed location. She could go anywhere, meet investors, see Caleb's properties, attend planning meetings, all under the umbrella of family visits. It provided her with privacy. No longer shared walls. no landlord, no unexpected drop-bys from Kody. In that RV, she at last had a space where she could make confidential calls, craft business plans, and dream big without fear of being overheard. And above all, it gave her financial independence. By reducing her cost of living, she generated her capital, money that she did not have to ask for, money that she could invest without asking. Our source claims that a lot of Janelle's journeys to North Carolina, the ones where she visited Maddie, were really longer business excursions. She'd fly out, meet up with Caleb and his crew in another city, seal deals, and then drop by her daughter's residence like any doting granny. To the family, it appeared Janelle was merely attempting to stay nearby to her children. But actually, she was secretly constructing an escape hatch, not only for herself, but for her children. Kody might have been blind to the specifics, but he wasn't an idiot. He began to realize it: Janelle's increasing autonomy, her repeated trips, how she appeared utterly untroubled by all the soap opera goings-on at Coyote Pass. He was losing his grip, and it provoked him to a silent fury. It was in late 2021 when things really took a turn, according to someone close to the case. That is when Kody supposedly learned about a man named Caleb Vance. He didn't realize the extent of what was happening, but what he did witness was sufficient to awaken every insecurity within him. He saw a text message on Janelle's phone, one from Caleb. It wasn't intimate. It wasn't covert. It was encouragement. "Just read the plans. You're a rock star, Jay. Can't wait to construct this with you. Don't let that guy discourage you." That one letter did it. To Kody, it wasn't a friendly gesture, it was a warning. Someone was complimenting Janelle, noticing her worth, treating her with respect. And that respect struck at Kody's sore spot. He didn't regard Caleb as a business rival. He regarded him as a threat. And rather than fighting Janelle head-on, Kody did what he has done time and time again: battled her sons instead. According to our insider, the arguments with Garrison and Gabe were never about COVID policies in the first place. That was merely the pretext. This was something more. This was a man striking at the woman who was getting away from him. By hurting her children, he was attempting to destabilize her, attempting to draw her back into family drama and away from whatever she was quietly building in the background. He forced her to make a choice that was impossible: him or her children. At one time, he even suspected her of being unfaithful, told her that her friendship with Caleb was unacceptable for a plural wife. But it wasn't because of loyalty, because of fear. He was afraid she was creating something without him and succeeding at it. He couldn't destroy the business, so he tried to destroy her family. But it ended up backfiring. Rather than shattering Janelle, it brought her to life. For the first time, she really saw him. A man who had no problem using her own children as emotional pawns just to keep her in check. That's when things changed. When she finally left, she didn't leave for nothing. Unlike the rest, she had a plan. She had a future. Our source informs us that her wellness retreat is finally through the stages of fundraising and will be opening in late 2024. She sold the RV. She got a gorgeous apartment, funded entirely from her own pocket. As Kody was fixating on Robyn and knotted up in drama with Christine, Janelle was constructing something solid. She had no interest in squabbling over a piece of land on Coyote Pass. She was purchasing her own parcels, on her own conditions. And now it makes sense. The tale of Janelle in that trailer wasn't a tragedy. It was a plan. A soft, ingenious escape plan. She played the long game. She absorbed the hits. She waited. And when the time was appropriate, she emerged stronger, smarter, and totally independent. She didn't require a histrionic farewell. She didn't require tears. She required a business plan and a fifth wheel. And ultimately, she taught us something powerful. The smartest person in the room isn't always the loudest one. She just needs to remain on course. So what do you believe? Was Janelle's RV era a call for help, or the most brilliant power play in Sister Wives history? Let's discuss in the comments. I want to hear your opinion. Thanks for riding this emotional roller coaster with me. If you enjoy discovering the truth behind the news, hit that share button. Let's give Janelle the attention she's deserved. And don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, because next time we're diving into Robyn's past. A former church member is finally breaking their silence. You won't want to miss it. This is Sister Wives Daily, and we're just getting started.